And in this case, these are serious allegations. Attempted destruction of evidence by throwing guns and drugs out the window while the car is moving the road, trafficking contraband into the jail. There's very serious allegations, and this is a large amount of meth. Um, the anticipation was that the parties were going to try to have an agreement to try to work this case out. And Miss Denny is basically showing the state as well as the court that she doesn't want to follow the rules. I hate to say this, but she's claimed to be pregnant when she was originally arrested on this case, but wasn't.
I apologize, Your Honor. I had another client call.
Okay, so you've had a chance to talk with your client. She was contemplating waiving her evidentiary hearing. What announcement, if any, have you, Mr. McClendon?
Your Honor, we will waive evidentiary hearing today and be motioning for a new bond.
All right, Miss Denny, your attorney tells me that you're going to waive your right to an evidentiary hearing in which the state would have the burden of proving that you violated your bond. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
And your attorney tells me that, or implies at least, that you want to stipulate or agree that you violated your bond as alleged by the state in the motion.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're agreeing that you have had contact with your co-defendant in violation of your bond?
No,
Your Honor, we'll be agreeing simply to the ankle monitor dying, and
yeah, I
there,
have that.
there was we're agreeing, we're stipulating that there is some kind of issue that did not allow the GPS company to continue tracking Miss Denny.
Well, apparently Deanna Loibl of Green Feather Monitoring, when she was here this morning, would have testified that as of June 27th, no, she said as of today, the bracelet was dead and that they were considering the defendant AWOL, trying to recover their equipment. That the defendant's battery was critical June 17th, 24 at 6:46 a.m., that the monitor company lost location and communication on 6/17 at 11:22 a.m., and the bracelet was still dead June 18th at 4:12 p.m., and that the dead battery on March 29th at 8:32 a.m. with location and communication coming back March 29, 2024 at 10:30 p.m. Location unknown during these timeframes due to insufficient charging. Dead battery May 21st, 9:32 a.m. Location and communication coming back May 21st at 11:42 a.m. Unknown during these timeframes as to locations of the defendant due to insufficient charges. So that's what the testimony would show. And then I think, all right, so Mr. McClendon, is that what your client is waiving hearing to and stipulating to? Or maybe,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay, and do you agree with that, Miss Denny, that that's what Green Feather's evidence would show?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Is anyone making you give up your right to hearing today by any kind of threat or promise?
No, Your Honor.
And you know that any bonds to be set or not set are within the discretion of the judge?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that there aren't any guarantees as to what your bond would be,
Yes, Your Honor.
and that the court could even order a no bond hold.
Yes, Your Honor.
And knowing all this, you still waive your right to hearing and stipulate to these violations.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, the state, apparently, Ms. Gillette, would you be, if this were to go to hearing, would you also be arguing that the defendant had contact with Tyler Goodwin this time around or not?
I'm not sure this time around. All I know is that her bracelet has been
Okay.
off.
All right, so we don't have to worry about that one because you didn't want to admit it and the state's not going to pursue that this time. We did address that at a previous bond revocation. So finding the defendant in violation of her latest bond. That is the $150,000 professional surety bond posted April 30th, 2024 with Philip Webb of A Second Chance. I do revoke the defendant's bond. Now, counsel, I understand you want to be heard on reinstatement of bond. I would just show the history in this case. That this is the third bond that the defendants had revoked. Well, it's the second she's had revoked, but it's the third bond. Her first bond was posted February 2nd, 2024, in the amount of $47,500, with the condition that she make her first appearance on March 19 of 24. On March 19 of 24, it was alleged that she was violating her bond, and the motion to revoke was set the following day, March 20th, 2024. On that date, the defendant was found in violation of bond, having contact with Tyler Goodwin, and violating the law as new charges were charged against her in Butler County. A new bond after she was revoked was set at $90,000 with another no contact and EMD added. She posted that $90,000 bond March 25th, 2024. On April 26th of 2024, she was arrested, taken into custody for the second bond revocation warrant. Bond at that time was set at $150,000 with the condition that she appear June 28th, 2024. On June 28th, she did waive her rights to preliminary hearing and was bound over for arraignment with Judge Crum July 25th, 2024 at 9 a.m. As far as the state's motion to revoke bond, that was set for this morning. And the defendant failed to appear this morning. So, Mr. McClendon, you want to go first and make your recommendations?
Judge, Miss Denny is 14 weeks pregnant. She's going to be dealing with pregnancy in the upcoming future. And to be able to, I mean, I don't know the intricacies of pregnancy as I'm a male and not a married one either, but I know there are probably complications that will arise with that. Miss Denny's more than willing to go on an ankle monitor, and she's trying, Judge. She's trying to stay clean. Her UA came back clean, and we hope that her follicle will too. Judge, I just asked for a new bond to be made.
Does she have the hair follicle test that I ordered?
She did, Your Honor. We're just waiting for it to come back because those take a bit.
I think she was late getting in to see her probation officer too, as I recall yeah, I think he said you were. I gave you a time frame, and according to your probation officer, you didn't make it. but it was the same day at least. So,
She called Tony, and again, Your Honor, I'm going to remind you, she doesn't have a valid driver's license, which has been an issue in this case, as you know, and that, probably for her to be able to find a ride and get there, um, was it obviously probably an issue there,
well, I don't understand why
as it was an issue today.
she couldn't hire an Uber. I mean, she has no trouble making bond. Even at 150,000, she can make bond at the drop of a hat. So I don't know why she couldn't have hired an Uber to get her here. Anyway, Miss Gillette, your response to this motion? Well, I don't know if it's a motion to reinstate or to set a new bond. I didn't hear an amount, but Miss Gillette, your response?
You're muted, Jill.
Judge, this is a serious case. It's got serious allegations. And when someone doesn't follow their bond conditions, they're showing the court what we can expect in their probation. They're showing us how they treat the orders of the court. And I've been dealing with this a lot lately. It seems there's a degrade in how people treat the courts, going along with their with Zoom. Basically courts aren't here in person, and it doesn't seem to be as people are just taking it for granted. And in this case, these are serious allegations. Attempted destruction of evidence by throwing guns and drugs out the window while the car is moving the road, trafficking contraband into the jail. There's very serious allegations, and this is a large amount of meth. The anticipation was that the parties were going to try to have an agreement to try to work this case out. And Miss Denny is basically showing the state as well as the court that she doesn't want to follow the rules. I hate to say this, but she's claimed to be pregnant when she was originally arrested on this case, but wasn't. She's claimed to be pregnant other times when she's been arrested. I don't know if this is a real pregnancy or not, based on her history. The little boy who cries wolf came to mind in this case. And if she is really pregnant this time, then, congratulations. But the baby was conceived during the time that she was supposed to be under a no contact order with the alleged father. The situation has grown because she doesn't follow the rules. She goes out and commits new crimes. We put her on GPS. She won't keep the GPS on. Promises to keep the GPS on again when we have sent notification that she's got violation reports consistently. That's the problem. She's showing us she cannot be consistent. At some point, you have to realize that you have to take responsibility for your decisions and your actions. And I say that a lot in court, and I hate to have to say it, but Miss Denny is showing us she didn't take responsibility for her actions. She was again late today. There's proper ways to handle things. And she's showing the court that she doesn't abide by any bond conditions, no matter what bond and conditions we set on her. So in this case, if we set another high bond and she gets out on GPS, is she going to go right back to doing what she's been doing for the last several months? I mean, it's been over 70 days that she's not kept her GPS on. And getting her back up here to the court to have a hearing on this bond, she's just showing the court where we're headed with probation, that she isn't amenable to probation throughout this case, and that she's not going to honor any kind of deal she's making with the state, because not honoring your bond conditions is also showing me you're not going to follow your agreement with me. And so I don't even know what kind of a bond even suggest here based on her history. her choices have led for her to be in custody today, including showing up over an hour late to court.
Miss Gillette, while she was on bond, she was picked up in Butler County with the co-defendant. Did criminal charges come out of what they were up to at that time?
Yeah, it was mostly traffic stuff.
Wasn't there some kind of allegation of a stolen car or something like that, or was that here at Greenwood?
That's the
No,
original case, Your Honor.
the original case has a stolen car, but there was an issue with stuff over there as well. And so we had actually brought a copy of the affidavit that was signed, and we actually at one point subpoenaed the officer of the court from the Butler County case, and we had that officer present to be able to testify about what he saw and finding Miss Denny. That was Billy Cole from over in Butler County. And they were trying to push a 2013 Lincoln MKX bearing a different license plate over there. And it was her and Mr. Goodwin.
The license plate didn't match the car they were pushing?
I'm not sure if it did or not, but Ms. Denny gave the false name Anna Mitchell at that time. And we actually had brought him over. The stolen car problems were out of Sedgwick County. She also had a stop in Sedgwick County in a stolen car. So she's had history. And like I said, she gave the wrong name to the Butler County officer, but the stolen car stuff all came out of Sedgwick. And like I said, we even went to the length to have to bring the officer over here. The stolen car was by Officer Johnson.
And I was never with that.
It was a black Chevy Tahoe with an Ohio tag. No charges have been filed yet. The car was returned to its owner, but Sedgwick County delays a lot. We just had a drug filed.
Okay, so you've switched from Butler County arrest to Sedgwick County arrest.
She's had to Sedgwick County.
So I was only charged for a traffic violation because that was a vehicle. That vehicle was bought by my sister. There was a bill of sale and everything in the vehicle. That's why I didn't get charged with that stolen vehicle, because it was not told to us it was stolen, and there was proof of that. That's why I was not charged with the stolen vehicle. I was only charged for traffic.
Now, you're talking Sedgwick or Butler County, ma'am?
That was Sedgwick County, and I got my bond revoked for that, even though it was traffic. And it was not. I never was charged with the stolen vehicle at all, because it was investigated too. There was a bill of sale in there that we had shown them proof that we had the vehicle was bought and like that.
All right. Well, let Miss Gillette finish. If you want to say more, we can.
So anyway, there were two different arrests to judge, one for Sedgwick County, one for Butler County. And we brought the Butler County officer in. And now we're having all of these GPS issues, plus contact with Mr. Goodwin before. So I really don't know what kind of bond to ask for her, because she doesn't follow any of the conditions. We gave her GPS so that she could be out, and she couldn't her GPS right.
And I was asking to get my bracelet tested. If I don't know that my GPS monitor is having problems, I can't even prove that they have not called my number once. Like, I've given them my new number. They have not called my new number. They have not tried to get a hold of me. And if there's a problem with my GPS bracelet, I don't know just by my bracelet to go get my bracelet checked. So And if they haven't, I literally can prove that they have not gotten a hold of me, and I have proof that they've gotten a hold of me on that number. I've given them that number before, and they had contacted me before on that same number, and I can prove that they have not called me in that time sprint at all.
All right, well, they said otherwise this morning, but let me ask you who your sister is that you referred to.
For the one that bought this vehicle, Rebecca Mitchell.
Who?
Rebecca Mitchell.
Now, you said to the officers that you are Hannah Mitchell's adopted sister?
No, that's my biological blood sister. Hannah Mitchell is my blood sister.
Are these Larry Mitchell's daughters?
Yeah, they are my blood. Those are my blood siblings.
Well, I know Larry and his wife. I've known him for years. He's a cop over there, a detective. I've never known that they had any other daughters besides.
I'm Shannon Pickett's daughter. We have two separate.
Okay. So Larry's son had you with another woman that he did the first two granddaughters.
Yeah, I mean, so my mom is Shannon. His wife is Jackie, and they had another daughter. Yeah.
All right. I do think I remember something about the son having a child with Shannon Pickett. But you're not actually Larry's daughter. You'd be
No, it's grandkids.
So what's your dad's name?
My dad's name is David, but my sister's dad's is Jeremy Mitchell.
So
I'm Shannon's daughter.
So who do you have in common? The mother?
Our mom,
Okay.
but Debbie and Larry, they took over. They took care of me too, since my dad wasn't in the picture.
Okay. Some of that kind of comes back to me. At the June 28th hearing, the prelim, the defendant announced she was 14 weeks pregnant, which would have made conception March 22nd, 2024, 2 days after her first bond revocation. And at both these, from the beginning of this case, she was ordered to have no contact with Taylor Goodwin. She supposedly has not had any contact with Caleb Goodwin since February 7, 2024, when they were in Butler County pushing the car together. So the math is not adding up.
No, I was revoked on March 24th.
I know, which
for
would be,
contact, which was 15.
No, you were revoked on March 22nd. 2 days. Okay. March 20th. You were revoked on March 20th. The date of conception that you're giving would have been March 22nd, but supposedly you haven't had any contact with Tyler Goodwin since the incident that you were arrested for.
My court date,
Stop, don't interrupt, which would have been February 7, 2024, which would be, I believe, 20.2857 weeks and not 14. So either you've been having contact with him more than you're admitting, or you're not 14 weeks pregnant with his child.
I do have documentation to prove I am pregnant.
All right. Well, at this point, the court has considered whether or not it has authority to hold you without bail. Because as Ms. Gillette argued, you just don't comply. You say it's not your fault, but you just don't comply. And as counsel knows, the amount of bail is within the sound discretion of the magistrate to set the amount to assure the presence of the accused. And we're told not to set excessive bail. But, which would suggest that I set a bail and a bond, unless there's a capital case, which this isn't. But bail need not be given in cases where release on bail would result in danger to another person or the community. And there we go back to the charges that you were looking at initially. And they were substantial. There was unlawful distribution of methamphetamine, somewhere around 6 grams in a baggie of, I don't know, somewhere between 6 and 41 grams. Then there was conspiracy to distribute a controlled substance. Those are both serious felonies. There was trafficking contraband in the correctional facility, as Ms. Gillette said. There's the allegation that you tried to pass off a baggie of methamphetamines, 12 grams as a tampon. And then you've got the forgery charges, identity theft, interference with the law enforcement officer. You and your boyfriend were in the car and he was driving, and it's alleged that you were running from the officers, throwing guns and baggies of meth out the window as you ran. You're also charged with law enforcement alleging that you gave a fake identification card, possessed some drug paraphernalia, and that was January 30th of 2024. Then February 7 or thereabout, you're accused of that activity in Butler County. And somewhere in there, you have Sedgwick County charges. So you've been in 3 counties now. I heard you say you had your bond revoked because of Sedgwick County. Which bond was revoked for Sedgwick County?
My 90,000.
Okay, so you're referring to the one back here in Greenwood County. I'm kind of like Miss Gillette. If no bond hold until we process this, just keeps coming back to me, because how do you find a number that's going to assure that you're not going to be a danger to other persons or the community? Drugs, stealing, these are all presumptions at this point, or allegations at this point.
And Judge, I've been clean. Like I've been clean. I haven't been.
Well, I hope if you're pregnant, you've been clean for 14 weeks at least. I will in part grant the motion and set a bond. But tell me, who makes these outrageously large bonds? To most people, those would be outrageously large. How do you make those?
Well, my grandparents are one, two. I mean,
Larry and Debbie are putting up this kind of money for you?
no, I have foster families of help too. I have foster family. They're trying to get me more help. I have a Saki vow. And
who are your foster parents?
Alan and Tammy Denny.
Are they family members?
Yeah, they had tried. They had started to adopt me, but I aged out before I was able to be adopted.
Okay, and they apparently have a good income or a good source of money that they can shell out 45 and lose it, and 90 and lose it, and now 150 and lose it.
Well, no, they're trying to get me help. is what it is. And I have a SAT eval, and I'm trying to go back to KISA. And I also, I was trying to go back with them, if I was able to do so. It's not in Sedgwick County or anything like that. I was going to get hopefully a motion to hopefully at least go down there after I get out of treatment to Kansas City, where they do stay at. But that's after I get the treatment.
Excuse me. Who have you been living with while you're on bond?
My mom, my biological mom.
Shannon Pickett?
Yeah, she's been clean and sober.
Well, that was going to be my question. When did she get clean?
She's been sober for 2 years now, and she has full custody of my younger brother. Yeah.
Is she out of trouble with the law? Or?
Yes, she's completely out of all trouble. She's clean and sober, has complete custody with no DCF or any type of involvement from the state at all.
We're going to set your bond at $500,000, cash or professional surety required. I'm going to order that you be on EMD and that you keep it charged and that it be working at all times.
What's EMD?
It's your.
I'm going to order that you have absolutely, positively no contact with this Mr. Goodwin.
Yes, Your Honor.
That you have no contact with anyone that uses, sells, or makes available alcohol or illegal drugs. Don't go to liquor stores. Don't go to bars. That's if you make the 500,000, and it doesn't sound like you'll have any trouble doing that. Am I right?
I don't know.
All right. And you have your court date, you have the judge. Anything else, Ms. Gillette, we need to address?
All of her bail bonds have been written. Well, one's Justin Province, the other one's Philip Webb. I don't know if they me or not, but they need to be responsible for making sure she's here for court dates if she's using them or whoever she uses. I've been told that they're members of her extended family. And that's why she's able to make such high bonds. But at this point,
what I know of her family from her growing up, they don't have that kind of money she's using to make bond. Is it her family or the boyfriend's family?
It's not. It's my sister's baby daddy. It's her parents, but they're not related to me. They're not extended to me.
Okay. Which girl is it? Rebecca or the other one?
Rebecca.
So Rebecca's baby daddy is whom?
I'm not sure his name, but
he's the one coming. His parents are coming.
No, yeah, it's his parents that have known my mom's side of the family and their dad's side of the family for a long time, and their son is her baby daddy.
Okay. Anything further, Mr. McClendon, from the defense?
and Judge, that's EMD with GPS.
Absolutely.
What's the difference?
It tells me where you are.
Okay, so it's just a same monitor.
Pretty much.
Can I request to change it or get this one tested or something before?
You talked to Green Feather about that.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I think they said they don't want you back. You may have to get a different monitor. Because they were looking for their equipment when they were here this morning.
They said there was a a balance due and they wanted their equipment back from
Again,
her.
I don't know why they would be owed any money the way she makes bond. Whoever's making your bond ought to be paying that too. Neither here nor there. I don't want you owing them any money. You make sure you keep that paid up. You make sure you don't, if you disappear with their equipment, that's a new charge of theft. You cut
Yes,
the
Your Honor.
bracelet, that's a new charge of criminal damage.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. If there's nothing further, we'll be in recess on this matter. Everyone may go.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.